What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And this is my take. Your boy Quando Rondo got a new joint out right now. End the story. Talking about King Vaughn shooting. At least that's what it is allegedly talking about. Now, no one knows exactly for sure, but it's pretty obvious when you listen to the lyrics of it that this is exactly what the man's addressing. And what I'm trying to address in this right now is Quando Rondo, is he the next one up? Like, is he going to be the next dude that gets got in this rap gang? Now, when I had first put out the King Vaughn video, and shout outs to the people who showed me love saying that my story was correct. And I was not trying to disrespect King Vaughn. If you actually listen to what I'm saying in that video, you would see that I'm speaking 100% facts. So make sure you subscribe and thumbs up this video if you want to somebody out here that's one of these goddamn vloggers that actually is from the streets, that actually does speak complete sense and is not choosing sides because they're a fan of either person. You know what I mean? Because that's not how I get down. Even if I was a fan of somebody, I would tell you what the deal truly is. Now, when I look at this Quando Rondo song, and I listened to it multiple times, and I'm going to tell you straight up that I don't like this new hip hop that's out there. I don't like it. I'm a 90s cat. You know what I mean? I love my 90s stuff. But I like this song. For a song, I think it's a real song. And I think when you listen to it and you listen to the tone of voice he's using in it and everything else, you could see that he really meant what he was saying. Like, this was really deep to him. Like, this wasn't just something, let me just drop this on paper, let's make this hit song, everything like that. He put some time and some effort up into this. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. When I listen to the lyrics and I hear it, it just reminds me so much of Biggie Smalls, Who Shot You, after Tupac got laced up. It reminds me so much. Now, Tupac didn't pass away from that, but it truly reminds me so much. And I thought that it was a bad move that Big put that song out. Now, a lot of people say, Big could have wrote that before. Big may not have done that. But when you listen to a couple of things that he says in there, it's kind of hard to not think that he was definitely talking about Tupac up in that. And that just put more fuel on the fire. And I think that this could be the case with Quando Rondo putting this song out. He says, sometimes you should not respond. Sometimes it's best just to keep your mouth shut. And in this situation, I think it's best that if he would have just kept his mouth shut and not put this out there. Listen, there were people in my comment section after the King Vaughn thing, people putting up there, R.I.P. Quando Rondo. Right after that, putting R.I.P. Quando Rondo. Like, his time is up. Now, is he living on borrowed time right now? Is his time really up? Is he trying to do what Tupac did when Tupac felt his time was up and he wrote a bunch of songs and a bunch of songs and a bunch of songs just in case something happened, that he left himself a legacy? It's hard to believe that a young cat would have to really think that way. But when you're living in them streets and you live in that life, you have to think that way. Now, also, I feel like I could understand everything that went down, and I understand exactly why he did what he had to do. And a lot of people don't get, like, when you in this rap game, or you just in them streets. I'm not even talking about the rap game. When you're in these streets, right, and you really in it, everybody's all about it until the shit go down. Everybody's all about drug dealing until you get bagged up. Like, you cool with the money. You cool with the chicks you getting. But as soon as you get bagged up and now you got to serve 20, all of a sudden it ain't fun no more, right? Everybody out here like to talk gunplay, like to talk about I blow your head off and do this and I do that, until it's one of they men or them that got their head blown off. Now all of a sudden you don't want to be a part of the game no more. Now all of a sudden it ain't fun and games no more. It's cool out there, back in my day when people was out there drinking 40s, you know what I mean? Doing this thing, hanging out in the block, you know what I mean? Taking pictures with guns like it was something, you know what I mean? I seen people posting on Facebook now, heads I'm cool with, posting pictures of back in the days with them with guns. Remember this time, remember this? It was fun like that. But when you got to actually bust that gun, right? When you actually got to take that life, when you actually got to catch that body, and then you got to go away for it, it ain't fun no more. So real cats who live that real life understand there's consequences with this game. And that's what it is. And seems like Quando Rondo realizing that, and he's like, listen, whatever comes my way, comes my way. And he's not going to put himself out there for it to come his way like that. But if it happens to catch up with him, it happens to catch up with him. And when I listened to his story, I watched the whole DJ Vlad interview with him. And he's talking about how he got thrown out the house by his mom, and his mom's the reason why he got arrested for the first time. Like everything he said, I went through the exact same shit. The exact when I was his age and I was young, I was getting thrown out the house by my mom for no reason. I was living from my boy's house to my boy's house, sleeping on this couch from this couch, sleeping outside. I used to sleep on the A train, right, and rock that shit all the way to 207th Street, Manhattan, and then turn around on the other side and go all the way back the other way. And I'm talking about when I was 11 years old that was going on, not no grown man shit. At 11 years old. So I know how that feels. And I know that pain it causes you. Like, what did I do to you, mom? You my mother. What did I do to you to make you throw me out? How bad am I? I get good grades. That's what I think to myself. I get good grades. I'm a good looking kid. Why I have to get treated like that? You don't know the realities of what's going on in other people's lives. You know what I mean? And when you get twisted in situations like that, you get this bitterness. You don't trust people. Like I find it hard right now to trust women right now, still to this day. I have a hard issue with abandonment issue still to this day because of a situation like that. But the only thing I could say that makes me and this dude different is that he actually made it. When I was doing my rap shit, I never achieved heights that he achieved. I would have loved to achieve those heights. And the fact that he did is the fact that he should be letting this all go behind him. Is the fact that he shouldn't be trying to live like that. When I was living like that, I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. I didn't know if anything would happen to me when I was on them subway system. Anything could possibly jump off and everything else. When I was living like that and everything else, that's when I was raw dog. That's when whoever can get it, can got it. But then I grew up and I seen things at a different perspective. When you reach a certain age, you won't have that same vigor. You've seen a lot of stuff go down and you start analyzing the situations and you don't just jump in there. I remember back in the day, all the big homies out there used to run with us and all that. They would have us hold the guns for them. They would want us to catch the bodies because they used to always say, yo, if you get this, you're going to get sent to Spofford. You know what I mean? You're going to get sent to Tryon. You'll be out in a little bit, maybe Job Corps. You'll be out in a couple 5 years. So what happened to us, we're going to go down for the rest of our life. You know what I mean? So when you're young, you start listening to that and you're the ones who doing all that work while they reaping the rewards of everything. The fact that he made it, he achieved what I never could achieve. He made it. He ain't got to live that way. He has all that pain and he could take that pain that he has and switch it around and help out another young brother who may be in a situation like that coming up. Now, maybe he's too young to realize that right now. Maybe he's just too much still in this game to realize that. Unfortunately, that could be the case. But if he really stopped and he looked at it and he was like, how can I make this better? This is something that he'd be thinking about doing. Let me try to help the next young brother not this happen to him so he don't have to go through the pain that I went through. Everything he said in the song is 100% facts. As I already told you about the shooter and everything else, that is the game. They was all in the game. King Von should have never put himself in that situation. He's a king. Kings don't do that. Kings have knights, right? Kings have knights. Kings have soldiers. Kings don't fight wars. If they do, they're in the back, like a general. Generals don't fight fights. They call the shots from the back. Bosses don't do that. They have capos. They have soldiers. Bosses keep their hands get their hands dirty. That should have been King Von. He had all his people there. He should have stepped back. It's like I said, that's the downfall of Tupac when he got passed away. He shouldn't have been kicking that dude. He shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. You got people to do that. You are the head. You don't let the fucking head die because when that happens, it all goes away. But the fact that King Von is dead and he is a king, I don't know if Quando Rondo could ever live that out. I don't think that I think there's someone who's going to be there for him, waiting to catch him, maybe for the rest of his life, at least for the good next 10 years. He may, you know, so I don't know how he gets out of it. But I know putting this song out is not helping the situation whatsoever. not helping. And I understand what he's saying, and I understand the hook, and I understand everything 100%. I'm not saying he's wrong by protecting his life the way he did. I'm not saying anything like that is wrong at all. That was the game you were in, but I'm just saying that the next casualty has a good chance to be him. The next major casualty is a good chance to be him. It's going to be hard for him to do shows anywhere. Dudes are not going to forget this. And now with this song, it's just adding fuel to the fire. I really wish he did not put this song out. And I hate to see these young brothers. You know, people look at Big and Pop. They was like the same age when this was jumping off. So there's some correlation there that when you're young, you're just not seeing the big picture. You're not seeing the full story. You're not understanding how much life you have ahead of you. I remember when I was young and I was like 18, I used to be like, yo, if I make it to 21, I'm lucky. And that's the way I was living. And then at 25, I was like, if I can make it to 27, I'm lucky. I done did everything I'm going to do in my life. And if I would have passed away back then, how much I would have missed out on. Would have missed out on both of my daughters. Would have missed out on both of them growing up and stuff. I would have missed out on everything. So much I would have missed out on. But when you're young, you're not thinking that way. And I just don't know how he can make this right. I just don't know how people are ever going to forgive him. How people are ever going to say, you know what, let bygones be bygones. I just don't see that happening in this situation, which is sad. But that's the truth. And that's how I feel about it. You know, but you put it in the comment sections. Let me know the deal. Did you think Quando Rondo is in a no-win situation? Do you think it was right for him to drop that song? Do you think that just added fuel to the fire and gave King Von's people even more, you know, ammunition? They already had enough to do what they had to do. You think it just gave them more, like, you know what, now we definitely got to handle this business like we handling this business. I feel bad for young brothers. I don't think that there's Malcolm X, I don't know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Minister Farrakhan. I don't think you can call in anyone to squash this. I think this is just what it is. Look at Biggie Smalls. You know what I mean? Tupac got hit. Supposedly when he died, it had nothing to do with Biggie. It had nothing to do with Biggie. It had nothing to do with the East Coast, West Coast beef. But they still took Biggie out. Just because Tupac got taken out, they still took out Biggie. Right? Some people don't care about their life, man. Especially what I'm saying, when you're young, you're not thinking about the long-term situation. And I think that whether it's coming from an award show, coming from goddamn supermarket, coming from just chilling in the car, man, anyone can get got, man. Anyone can get got. And I feel bad for Quando Rondo, but I think he might be next, unfortunately. I wish there was a way people could squash this and get this done. If you could think of a way that could happen, please put it in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe, man. I truly appreciate it if you do, and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.